Okay, now we are going to create one empty project that is just a Python to run a Python script. Okay, so I am just going to create a new project. You just have to click on the new project and we have to give the project name. So this is the location of that project. Okay, this project is going to store in the D folder, D drive. So if you want to change to any directory also, you can select in which directory. For example, in C drive, in desktop, if you want to save, you can save it in desktop, otherwise D drive, E drive. So what are the drives you partition in your computer? So in that drive, we can able to save that project. So I just save the project in the D drive itself, and I will give the project name as Python project tutorial. So something like this I have given on project name. So after this, so it will ask for the environment. Okay. So in Python, what we will do? So there is a virtual environment will come. So what is virtual environment? So I will explain in theory wise. I will explain later. So this is just a when we are installing the Python. So for some particular project, so we set up the Python version. So for example, we have a Python 3.10, 3.7. So like this, we can download any number of versions of Python. So for example, if I want to develop this project under the 3.10 version, so I can select that version and I can create the virtual environment. So it means that, so this project will, we can execute under this virtual environment. So it means that, so this project will be developed by using the Python 3.10 version. So now you just currently understand like this. So just we create a virtual environment to select the some specific Python version. So we create the virtual environment. So I have already installed the Python 2 versions. So that's why it is showing the Python versions. So I want Python 3.10. So I will just select the Python 3.10 as my virtual environment. It means that whatever I develop the code, it will comes under the Python 3.10 versions. So after selecting this virtual environment, so we need to just click on the create. Only if you install the Python, then only it will show that Python versions in that option. So first you have to install the Python, then you have to install the PyCharm. So then only you can able to create the project. So now it is creating the virtual environment and it is setting up the project files and everything. So now we can able to see, so this is the virtual environment which it is been created. So this is the project. So this is the V and V, E and V is the virtual environment. Okay, this is just a project folder. So now I am going to create one Python file. So first we have to right click on this project folder and new and Python file. So for this Python file, I just give the name as a main.py. So then you can able to see that file main.py inside this folder, inside this project folder. Also, we can able to see the virtual environment. Okay. So now we'll go to terminal. So if you just click on the terminal, so here you can able to see within the bracket V and V. It means that whatever we are going to run the Python commands, it will execute within the virtual environment. Okay. So also Python is, as I told you, so even the PHP and the Python is and JavaScript. So those are all the interpreted language. It means that whatever we execute the code, so on that line itself, it will give the output. It will not compile. It will not compile the whole program. So it will execute line by line. Also, it will check. It will check. It will on time. It will run that code, run that instruction, and it will give the output. For example, we can able to see in the Python console. So if we just open this Python console, so we can get this console like this. So here we can write the Python instruction sets. So first I am going to write one print command. So this will just print the message. Whatever I type, that message it will print. So I just executed this one line. So I got the output. So this is the output for this one line. Okay, so for this purpose, we call it as a Python is an interpreter language. So it will execute and it will give the output on time itself. So we have not done any type of compilation and execution. If you see the any C programming, so first we need to compile that code. So after compilation, so we get the machine executable exe file. So then only we can able to run that executable file in our machine to see the output. So, but in the Python, whenever we write the command, we write the instruction set. So on that time itself, it will give the output. So for that purpose, we call it as an interpreter language. So we'll see in W3 schools also what they will say. So if you have any questions or if you are not getting anything, so you can stop at that time itself and you can ask whatever if you are not understanding or else if you are not getting the point. So to install the Python also, so if you get confused, you can come and check here to check the Python versions in the terminal. For example, if you open your command prompt, also you can type it as a terminal and we will get like this. So after you run this command, it will show some Python versions. Okay, so only if the Python is successfully installed, then only we can able to see this Python version. Otherwise, it will throw the error. So this is just for to check whether you have successfully installed that Python. Yeah. So Python is an interpreted programming language. So interpreted programming language, as I told you, so it will directly give the output. That's why just they call it as a interpreted programming language. Okay, so just I executed one line code. So just I got the output. Okay, so now let's start with the main.py and we'll execute the code. by running the main.py file. Okay, this is the very simple hello world program. So just I am going to print the hello, I am Ash. So like that, I am just wanted to execute this Python file and I wanted to run. So when I am executing this code, so I am under this Python project tutorial folder. So now I have to type the command Python space main.py. So it executed the main.py file and it give the output. So output means, so I am just printing one line code. So if you take, for example, if you want any one line code like this, means if you want to print the hello, I am Varsha, in any of the programming language, it takes at least minimum 5 to 6 lines of code. So for example, we can check it. We'll check in the print hello world. Means print hello world means just printing some text in the output console. Print hello world in C programming. So if you see the code, so in the C programming, at least minimum you should write this much lines of code. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So total 6 lines of code you have to write just to print hello world. So but in the Python, just only we require only one line. So that's why Python we call it as a very simplest, and it will be very easy. So it will not take too much of complex if you compare to any other previous programming languages. So like C, C++ or Java and all. So also you guys are from electronics background. So Python will be the very best choice for you. So because the programming will not that much complex like C programming. So it will be very easy scripting programming language. So we can easily write the Python scripts. So just you have to understand the concept. Also, when you are developing any software or program, so you should understand the problem. Then you should able to think by yourself to solve the problem. How can we? Which concepts I can apply and I can able to solve the problem. So like that you have to think. So then it will be easy for you to do any work in the Python by using the Python programming. So this is our first code which we are going to execute print statement. Okay, not only the C programming which I have given the example. So if you take any programming language, it at least take 6 to 7 lines of code. So but in Python it is this much very simple. So also if I want to print some more lines, you can add the print statement, print. I want to learn Python. Now I just execute the main.py. So it is printing 2 lines. Okay, there is nothing like there should be a main file, main method. So it will start executing from the main method, nothing like that. So it will just start executing from the first line of the code itself. So now I will just show you the configuration for the debugger. So anybody aware of what is debugger?
Checking for errors is called as debugging.
Yeah. So have you used in which programming you have used the debugging? Even if it is in electronics, also not an issue. Have you used the debugging tools?
Yes, sir.
Which programming or which VLSI or something? Any in
In
which?
our electronics lab, like Verilog lab, MATLAB and all.
Okay, for the VHDL, you were using that debugging thing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here also we can set up the debugging. So we can easily execute line by line. So what is happening? What is the value will be storing in the variable? Everything we can able to debug by using the debugging tool. So to set up the debugging tool, first we need to add the configuration. So first we have to click on this add configuration, and we need to click on this plus, and we need to select this Python. So in the Python, so I just give the name as a run, and we need to select the script. So inside this project, I am going to execute the main.py. So that's why I am selecting this main.py file. So and also parameters I am not giving. So environment is the same, which we have created the 3.10 Python 3.10 Python project tutorial. This is the virtual environment. So after selecting this file, we have to click on the apply, and we have to select the OK. So now we can able to see the run button, and this is the debug button. Okay, so now we can able to directly run the code like this. So we got the output. Also we can do the debug. So if we click on the debug, so wherever we put the breakpoint, it will stop the execution here itself. So then we can execute the code line by line. So now it came to the next line. So if you see the console output, so only this line is executed. So that's why in the console it is printed, hello, I am Arsha. So now the execution is in the second line. So once I go to the next, so it print the I want to learn Python. So then it exit the program because this contains only 2 lines of code. Okay, so everybody should set up all these things, whatever I am explaining today. So then it will be very easy to understand the concept in the Python concepts, and always each concepts we should execute example codes. Then only we can able to understand the concept very easily. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to understand. So that's why. So before tomorrow, you all of you should download and install this complete setup. Also, you should create a project along with this, whatever today I have executed these 2 lines of code. So you should practice, and you should be ready for the from tomorrow class. So these are the just introductions. So the command line interface. So these are all the things we have already tested. So in the IDE, if you click on the terminal, so this is also the same terminal which we are using. So this will come within the IDE, we get this terminal. So here you can type any command. So we executed without this tool, run and debug tool. So we can directly type the command and we can execute the file. So even if you want to run or debug, so we can use this option. So then from next class, so the syntax of the Python. So if you compare to any other programming languages, so the programming syntax also it will be too much difference is there. As as of all of you are aware of only the C programming, so then I can explain what is the difference from C programming and Python programming syntax. So then we can, from tomorrow, we can start the concepts. So these are all the topics we are going to learn. Python comments, variables, data types, numbers, casting, strings. So these are all the data types, list, tuple, sets, dictionaries, all those things. And there is a looping concepts and conditional statements. Even in the C programming, we have seen the if condition, if else condition, switch statement. So same type of conditional statements and looping statements we are having in the Python also. So this is the very basic and very important thing, because if you want to build any logic, we can only develop by using the conditional statements and the looping statements. So after that, Python classes also will come. So this is the object oriented concept. So once these are things you will understand, then only you can able to get what is class and object. So also the features of classes like inheritance. So these are the topics in the Python. So let's go one by one topics from tomorrow. So each concept will be execute from this tool, and we can able to see the output, what exactly that concept works, how it works and all. So from tomorrow we'll start from the Python syntax and Python comments. So have any questions?
No, sir.
ಓಕೆ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಮತ್ತೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳಿ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಷನ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕನ್ನಡ ಅಥವಾ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇದ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಏನೇ ಇದ್ರು ಹೇಳಿ.